The current U.S. administration is different than anything we've seen in the past 50 years. Now, you have to understand something. We did have several presidents in the past that helped Israel, such as Truman in 48, who loved the Jewish people for their heritage and for their friendship. He grew up with Jewish people. He had Jewish people in his own profession, in the garment industry and all of that. However, in 1973, a president that a lot of people love to hate, President Nixon, I don't know if you know that, but he was there when we had one of the most tragic wars where we lost over 1,600 soldiers, a war where Israel almost was annihilated, a war that broke out on the holiest day of Israel's calendar, the Yom Kippur. In that war, two days into that war, Golda Meir picked up the phone and called Richard Nixon and said, Mr. President, if America is not going to help Israel in the next 24 to 48 hours, Israel will no longer exist. And President Nixon paused and then he answered and said, Golda, my mother used to read me Bible stories when I was a child. I remember one day she paused as she read me one of the stories. She said, Richard, I want you to promise me that if you ever get a chance to help save the Jewish people, you must promise me that you're going to do so. And then he said, Golda, probably for the first time, I understand why I became the President of the United States of America. And I tell you something, folks, that phone conversation was over. He picked up the phone, called the Pentagon, and the largest airlift of armaments since World War II took place. In the next 72 hours, everything shifted. Israel was able to push back the enemy, and we survived. And they didn't even take a square inch from Israel, but it was not nice.